This video is the first in a series of videos that we're going to go over and show how to import from a CSV file. A CSV file is a text file that has parameters separated by commas. Think of Excel spreadsheet or Google Sheets. A lot of cabinet programs are going to be able to export out a comma-separated file with a list of parts and part sizes. So we will first take a look at what the CSV file looks like or where it is originating from. So I have a Google Sheets opened up. You could do this in Excel as well. And we have each column is representing something different. So we have a job number, the quantities, the depth. This is like the Y value, or depending on which way you have your machine orientation, the depth of the cabinet, essentially, maybe. You could think of it that way. The height, the type of material this part is going to be nested on. The nested unit, this helps in the priority of the nesting or group like parts to the same sheet, or it will try to do its best to keep all of unit number 2 within the first few sheets of the nesting. And then the part name. The part name is going to be used in future videos to show how we could parametrically add features to a particular cabinet part. So let's come back over into PartNester and go to File and then Open. I am then going to change the drop-down list to a CSV, and I'm going to select the CSV file that I downloaded from Google Sheets. So this file that I am going to run is this file that I went to File, and then I download as a comma-separated values, CSV file. Selecting this file is then selecting Open. It will start its nesting process. I have one part on there that is not going to fit on my specified material, so I'm going to say OK to that message, and the nesting has begun. If you notice, some of these parts have machining features to them. They have shelf holes and a toe kick notch. Future videos, or the next videos that we are going to follow this one, are going to explain and start to explain how we're able to add those different features. But for right now, we have parametrics in play that are able to adjust some of the parameters for the shelving units. So if we go to Tools and then Script Settings, we could see that we have some settings here for shelf holes on a base side. So we could modify the spacing. We could go by 3 inches. If I want them to be a little farther back from the edges, I could enter in a 2.5 and 2.5. This distance from the top and the bottom, we may not want them to go all the way up to the top, so I could change that to 12 as well. Once I've made those changes, we'll click Save. We'll close the settings, then go to Tools and Renest. We can now see that we have our hole spacing that is spaced farther than it was. It's now spaced to what we had set. The distance from the top down is greater and far less holes for drilling. That is essentially it for importing a CSV file. Again, to recap, it is a CSV file is a file that you could just type out in Excel, Google Sheets, just in Notepad. It's just a comma separated file. And taking a look at that file again, is separated by columns: job number, the quantity, the depth, the height, the material type, the nested unit, and the part name. The part name, as I mentioned earlier, is what we're going to be able to use to set the parametrics, and that part name is what is telling us that this cabinet should have shelf holes and get a toe kick notch. So the following video is going to introduce how we are utilizing scripting to make that happen. And then the following videos will show how it is done and how we could add more features to this side and also add more features to some of the other components within that list.